This week we are getting the Supreme winter tees, and I cannot wait to show you guys what they look like. We don't have any images of the tees.
I was very sad to see that.
Only names. Names from a t-shirt, but no actual pictures of a t-shirt. These guys need to get their priorities straight.
I feel like I'm chosen. I'm covered in gold.
Welcome back, friends, to another edition of Fauntleroy's Finest, and today we are going to take a look at Supreme's Week 16 drop list.
Hello? Is it me you're looking for?
This week we were rumored to be getting the Singer sewing machine, but apparently that has been pushed back.
Your tears are so yummy and sweet.
I really want to apologize to the Zigzag Stitch gang. As soon as this sucker comes out, your brand is going to the top. All you needed was a computerized Singer sewing machine with Supreme on the side.
It's fiction.
And just in time for those holiday snowfalls, Supreme's bringing you a snow shovel, or as B. Wright wants to call it, an avalanche shovel. I'll give you either because snow is still present in both situations. I assume this is going to be on the expensive side, at least as far as shovels go. And they're bringing the Doughboy back. That's right, we're getting some decks, we're getting a t-shirt for sure, we're getting some beanies, and if that fool gets too close to me, you know I'm going to poke him right in that belly. Hell, that's probably fat shaming now, but you know what? I don't give a shit. If he didn't want to be poked in the belly like that, he shouldn't be wearing that dough so well.
Damn.
Before we get into all of this, I do want to make sure that if you guys like these videos, go ahead and do so, like the video, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. We're getting back on track with these live streams, and on Wednesday nights, you know it's Raffle Wednesday, so we will be giving away some of the many things that you've seen me cop on this channel. So make sure that you're around Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and get some free stuff. And make sure that you're part of the Discord. The raffles for these Travis Phantoms have been trickling in. This is probably the last big shoe of the year. And from what we've all been told, looking like it's going to be releasing on Travis's site on the 15th and then probably on Sneakers down the road. Make sure you get into these raffles. These shoes are going for a little over $1,000 right now. I'll expect those to come down as more stock is out there in the market. But the earlier you can win in these raffles, the earlier they're in your hand. And if you're selling them, you make the most money. If you're keeping them, they're still hard to get, so enter raffles. Alright, let's get into this Week 16 drop list. Top to bottom, Supreme community. It feels good to be home. First off, we have this signature long sleeve shirt. It's a $68 long sleeve shirt. Move along. Next up, we have a camo sweater I am not a fan of. It looks like this design was lifted off an 8-year-old's account in Minecraft, and I definitely choose to move along.
What the fuck are you doing here?
They have a beanie that goes with that sweater. The beanie is better than the sweater because I can't really tell what's on the beanie, whereas if I look at the sweater long enough, I can tell that was supposed to be a tree. Next up, we have this FDNY 5-panel. I assume this logo is also going to be on the t-shirt that carries the same name. I don't really have anything against this other than it's a 5-panel, and that usually is like a death warrant for a Supreme item. Not a big fan of the 5 panels.
I don't know, it's just a lot.
Now we're taking a stroll down Jacob Star Lane with these wool trousers. I can just remember the days where he was reviewing Supreme, talking about what a fancy pair of pants these would be. I think that if you guys are old school Jacob fans, then you should probably grab a pair of these pants. Otherwise, we're probably gonna have to just move along. Next up, we have this quilted leather work jacket. Drops has this thing listed at just under $600. I believe they had a quilted leather jacket earlier in the season, and I thought the price on that was ridiculous, so unless you want like a really big flex, I would probably just move along. Next up, we have this fur collar car coat, another very expensive jacket most likely, and although it is probably going to be a really nice jacket, I definitely wouldn't see any resale value in this particular thing. So again, unless you just really want the flex of having this jacket, it's probably a pass.
Oh my.
Alright, now here we go. I really don't hate this paneled long sleeve velour polo. It is kind of cool. I think that lighter colorway in the front is my favorite of this group. Probably not something that I would rock necessarily, but I do think it has a good look to it, and this is kind of like a little sleeper piece for me for this week. I don't really think that there's a huge future in this thing, but it could sell out in certain colorways. When they do that velour stuff right, it tends to sell out. That's all I'm gonna say.
No.
Next up, we have the reflective ripstop camp cap. I'm not really a huge fan of these. The last time that these came out, they didn't really do as well as they have in the past. If you're gonna go for anything on this, I say definitely the black one. And that white one has a red box logo on it, and generally you just can't go too wrong with picking up something like that either. That said, I don't expect a lot of demand in these, and I bet that they won't even sell out right away. Next up, here's our boy, the Doughboy, and he's on a beanie, and it's a $40 beanie, and it's a beanie that says Doughboy Supreme.
I'm not spending one more second of this life with some inconsiderate prick!
You never know with stuff like this. Again, it's a cheap price point. At the end of the day, it might just be a little too cartoony to be anything other than a stupid kind of fad. But if you needed to get that free shipping, what the hell? Now here's our first item from the Supreme Great Wall collaboration. These jeans. I'm really digging these black jeans. The only thing I really don't love is those skulls right over your junk in the front. It scares me, but at a price point of $228, I would say definitely go. I do not imagine that that is going to be the actual price point, but at this moment, Mr. Drops GG is saying that they are. If they are that price, I probably will pick up a pair of these. I think they're really cool, and I think they're definitely worth a $128 price point. And I'm going to say the same with the work jacket that they go with. If this is under $250, that's a really good price point for a jacket like this. Maybe even I like the jacket better than the pants, and I just go for that. Where I kind of only like the black colorway in the pants, I actually like both colorways in the jacket.
It's a race to the finish. And which will get to the stop sign first?
I think that both of those colorways look great for this particular item. That's all like leather applique, you know, it's not just patches, it's not just something sewed on. I really do believe that you're gonna have to add another 100 to this price point for both of those items. But again, if these are the retail prices for the jackets and the pants, I think it's a really good price point, and I think these are really good items to kind of focus on. Next up is the Great Wall hoodie. It is above all of the other Great Wall items, but it is my least favorite. I'm just not a huge fan of these. It's just kind of a regular hoodie. This is just text and graphics kind of sewn onto this item. This being at $198 makes a little more sense to me because it's the collaboration, and it adds on 10, 20, whatever. So instead of being like $178, it's $198. But I'm really not feeling this one at all that much anyways, so I'm just going to move on.
What I do is just like you know, you know what I mean? Like,
next up, we have these small box logo zip-up hooded sweatshirt. These are a Supreme staple, and they make for a really, really good personal, so you really can't go wrong with these, unless you're wanting to resell them. Next up, we have these Hanes thermal items. They are sold separately. We have the Hanes thermal pant, and of course, the Hanes thermal crew. These seem to be another perennial item that Supreme releases over time. Again, if you want these for the personal, I would go ahead and grab them. If you want these in XXL, you might need to get them quickly, but otherwise, most other sizes should sit in all these for quite a fair amount of time. Nothing too crazy here.
Nope.
Next up, we have this Codora Puffer Balalabaga. Balalaka. Balaclava. Jeez, I can't get it out. I expect this thing to be close to $100, just like Drops is saying. That's a pretty hefty Balalalava. It is Codora, so that could help you out a little bit. And it is kind of cool. It looks like a little hat. You know, it's got the brim out there as well.
That doesn't feel right.
It is something different. I can't say that I've really ever seen these before. And I would expect these to sell out pretty quickly. The Balalavava market is going up. All signs point to up for Balalavas.
Eat a bag of dicks.
If you're looking to resell these, it would be a definite risk. The price point is going to be very, very high. So you're already starting at a level up here. So if you're not wanting these for personal, I would probably be looking elsewhere, to be honest with you. But it is a neat item. Next up, we have these Doughboy skateboards. Looks like we're getting two different Doughboy decks. One with his big old face on it, and the other with some really weird acid trippy looking. Look at this guy. Look at this dog. What's his problem? And that squirrel is out of his mind. He is on some LSD. Oh my god, look at the sun. Holy crap. He's trying to kill us all. I don't expect a ton of resell in Doughboy skate decks, especially since the hype has kind of gone up and down in these just all throughout the season. We expected them a lot earlier on in the season. I really don't have a ton of faith in these skate decks over the long term or any such, really. I think it's a really strange collaboration, to be fair. But who knows, they might not make too many of them. And I can't imagine that they're going to have a Doughboy collaboration anytime soon or ever again. So these are probably one-offs that you're only going to be able to get for the next couple weeks. I mean, they're here. You might as well get them for retail, right? And finally, last but not least, say that your driveway was completely covered in snow and you couldn't get to work. Well, guess what? Supreme is here for you with a shovel. That's right. Do some manual labor. Move that snow out of your driveway. Get in your car and get your sorry ass to work. There's no snow days here anymore. We have a shovel. I think the normal retail of this that has no Supreme affiliation is about $49.99, $50, something to that effect. So who knows, they could double up the price on you, but most likely I'm going to assume this is going to be right around $78, $75, something like that. Still, that would make it a very expensive shovel no matter what the price is, over $75. And me being a gentleman that lives in Los Angeles County, I really don't have a whole lot of need for a snow shovel.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
If it was a little heftier, we could use it to hit people with it, but it's aluminum. It's just going to fold up on itself, really. Maybe you get 1-2 good whacks, and that's it. And then you got to find a new shovel. I don't expect these to sit forever, but at the same time, I really don't see these like flying off the shelves no matter how many they make. But you know what? Hey, this could start a business. You buy this snow shovel and you go around your block shoveling snow with it. I could see this thing making you 10x on your money for just this one season. So unless you're finally getting off the pot, starting that snow shoveling business, I just can't see a whole lot of profit in this snow shovel.
I need it!
Definitely not the greatest week that I have ever seen, but I am more interested in what these t-shirts are going to look like. We are supposed to be getting 8 different winter tees. We know some of the names so far. We have a Doughboy tee, a Nuns and Guns tee. That sounds promising. The FDNY tee, which should look similar to the 5-panel. A Trademark tee, a Cigarette tee, a Milford Graves tee, the Dylan tee, and apparently one other tee that we just haven't gotten a name for.
Wear it until you love it!
As soon as any images of these tees start to surface, I'll go ahead and make a video kind of going over what I think about each tee and any recommendations I have to you guys as to which ones to go after. You know, if there's a Sean Cliver one, I'm going to tell you to buy it. So if I say go after the Sean Cliver tee, probably just don't do that. Otherwise, I've had pretty good advice.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
So definitely some decent items coming out. I think those great wall items are something to definitely pay attention to the price points of. And I can't wait to see what these winter tees look like from Supreme. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are going to go after anything that we went over today, or if you're just kind of interested in the t-shirts like me. Thank you guys for joining me, and don't miss out on Wednesday night's live stream at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time.
High five?
Oh,
You'd
high
say
five.
high five when you...
Yeah.
Yes.
And if this video hasn't given you the Fauntleroy fix that you need for your life today, then you should check out these videos over here.
Laid back.
With my mind